Hello everyone, in this video I am going to tell Bhagavad Gita shloka number 13.15. In the previous shloka, Lord Krishna told that everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads and faces, and that he has ears everywhere. And in this way the super soul exists, pervading everything. Let us begin with this shloka. सर्वेन्द्रिय गुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रिय विवर्जितं असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च. The meaning: Sarva of all, Indriya senses, Guna of the qualities, Abhasam the original source, Sarva all, Indriya senses, Vivarjitam being without, Asaktam without attachment, Sarvabhrit the maintainer of everyone, Cha also, Eva certainly, Nirgunam without material qualities, Guna Bhoktra master of the gunas, Cha also. The whole meaning is the super soul is the original source of all the senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living beings. He transcends the mode of nature, and at the same time he is the master of all the modes of material nature. Srila Prabhupada explains, the Supreme Lord, although the source of all the senses and living entities, doesn't have material senses like they have. Actually, the individual souls have spiritual senses, but in conditioned life they are covered with the material elements, and therefore the sense activities are exhibited through matter. The Supreme Lord's senses are not so covered. His senses are transcendental and are therefore called Nirguna. Guna means the material modes, but his senses are without material covering. It should be understood that his senses are not exactly like ours. Although he is the source of all our sensory activities, he has his transcendental senses which are uncontaminated. This is very nicely explained in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 3.19 in the verse Apanipado Javano Grahita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no hands which are materially contaminated, but he has hands and accepts whatever sacrifice is offered to him. That is the distinction between the conditioned soul and the super soul. He has no material eyes, but he has eyes. Otherwise, how could he see? He sees everything, past, present, and future. He lives within the heart of the living being, and he knows what we have done in the past, what we are doing now, and what is awaiting us in the future. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. He knows everything, but no one knows him. It is said that the Supreme Lord has no legs like us, but he can travel throughout the space because he has spiritual legs. In other words, the Lord is not impersonal. He has his eyes, legs, hands, and everything else, and because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, we also have these things. But his hands, legs, eyes, and senses are not contaminated by material nature. Bhagavad Gita also confirms that when the Lord appears, he appears as by his internal potency. He is not contaminated by the material energy because he is the Lord of material energy. In Vedic literature, we find that his whole embodiment is spiritual. He has his eternal form called Sachidananda Vigraha. He is full of all opulence. He is the proprietor of wealth and the owner of all energy. He is the most intelligent and is full of knowledge. These are some of the symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the maintainer of all living entities and the witness of all activity. As far as we can understand from Vedic literature, the Supreme Lord is always transcendental. Although we do not see his head, face, hands, or legs, he has them. And when we are elevated to the transcendental situation, we can see the Lord's form. Due to materially contaminated senses, we cannot see his form. Therefore, the impersonalists who are still materially affected cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you for watching, and I will tell the next shloka in the next video.